Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news from the Ridgecrest Police Department, yesterday's Nevada primary, news from Shannon Grove, also from Congressman McCarthy, other campaign news, today's gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitney. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Our lead story for today is from the Ridgecrest Police Department. They have arrested a person for assault with a deadly weapon, robbery, and preventing a person from using a wireless device. Arrested was 21-year-old Peyton Smith of Ridgecrest. Other suspects still being sought include 26-year-old John Buckholtz from Ridgecrest, 31-year-old Sadie Hillman from Ridgecrest, and another person, 23-year-old Sequoia Young, is listed as a person of interest that they would like to interview. Here's what happened. On Saturday, February 20th, at approximately 15:10 hours, officers were dispatched to the 100 block of South Holly Canyon Drive regarding a battery. Upon arrival, officers located a male victim bleeding from the head. Officers learned the victim had been struck several times with blunt objects. As a result, the victim suffered a laceration to his head. A cell phone was also taken by force from a subject who was on scene and was attempting to call the police. Through the investigation, it was learned that the above mentioned were involved. Smith was located and arrested. However, the other suspects are still outstanding. Buckholtz is currently on active parole and a parole warrant is pending. Now in campaign news. We have the results from the Nevada primary from Tuesday evening. Trump has walked away with a huge win. Trump got 46% of the vote. Rubio came in with 24% and Cruz came in with 21%. They were followed by Carson at 5% and Kasich at 3%. What is interesting to note is that all the pundits for weeks have been predicting that as the lower tier Republican candidates drop out, it will help Rubio and Cruz cash and possibly pass Trump. The pundits have said Trump's base will not expand above 35%. However, that's not what's happening. It appears that Rubio and Cruz are the ones staying generally in the 20s, while Trump has now gone into the mid-40s. Again, Trump winning Nevada just short of the 46% of the vote. But even more this morning, the pundits are still saying the same thing, that now Carson and Kasich need to drop out so that their vote will go to Rubio and Cruz. Again, they are dismissing that they might also go to Trump. I will say this, though. I forgot what station I saw it on after the polls closed, but one pundit got it right. He had an analysis that if Carson's and Kasich votes were split up between Trump and Rubio and Cruz, that the split would be about 1/3 each to each of them. So, if his research was accurate, it would mean Trump would be approaching the 48th or 49th percentile. This apparently has the establishment Republicans going crazy. So rest assured, the campaign ads for the next week leading up to Super Tuesday are going to get rough and nasty. We'll certainly not be seeing them since California doesn't vote until June. There was one anti-Trump PAC that announced Wednesday morning they have purchased a $1 million ad package to attack Trump in some of the Super Tuesday states. So those people are going to be inundated with negative campaign ads big time. Next in the campaign will be a Republican debate. It will be held Thursday evening. This next Republican debate will be an interesting one for sure. It will be hosted by CNN and Telemundo. It will be Thursday evening at the University of Houston in Texas. Moderators will be Wolf Blitzer, Maria Celeste Herreras, Hugh Hewitt, and Dana Bash. I wonder if there'll be any questions about the wall and illegal immigration. There are no more Democrat debates until March 6th, which will be after Super Tuesday. The DNC planned well on that debate. It's after Super Tuesday, which helps Clinton and hurts Sanders. In news from Washington, Congressman McCarthy announced he is accepting internship applications for his summer internship program. McCarthy released the following statement on the internship program. My first experience in public service was as an intern for our local Congressman Bill Thomas. There I learned of the important issues to our community and worked with our neighbors on federal service issues they were having. Our unique American democracy envisions a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And I believe the work in a congressional internship offers our next generation of local leaders an experience to carry out that vision. How does it work? Well, summer internship applicants should be enrolled in college, at least in their first year of post-secondary studies, and with a minimum 3.0 grade point average, and possess good writing and computer skills. Preference will be given to residents of California's 23rd Congressional District, which includes portions of Kern, Tulare, and Los Angeles counties. However, all applicants will be considered. Summer interns are responsible for their expenses, including transportation and lodging costs, but may be eligible to receive a $1,500 stipend before taxes should they be a resident of the district and intern in both Bakersfield and Washington offices. The summer internship program typically spans 8 weeks. Interns typically spend 2 weeks in the Bakersfield office and 6 weeks in the Washington, D.C. office. For more information, you may visit Kevin McCarthy's website or call the Bakersfield office at 661-327-3611 or the Washington, D.C. office at 202-225-2915. Applications and supporting documents should be sent to Congressman McCarthy's Bakersfield office at 4100 Empire Drive, Suite 150, Bakersfield, California, 93309, or email them to robin.lake-foster@mail.house.gov. March 18, 2016 is the deadline, but applicants are advised to submit their application as early as possible, as decisions will be made on a rolling basis. Congressman McCarthy is also accepting applications for his fall, winter, and spring internship programs in Washington, D.C. Now stay with us for news from Shannon Grove when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. In news from Sacramento, we get this report from Assemblywoman Shannon Grove. She is announcing 2 pieces of legislation she just introduced to address the frustrations of disenfranchised public union workers who came to her seeking help to make unions more accountable to their members. This includes requiring public employee unions to be transparent with how they spend union dues. And it includes a simplified process for union members to affirm or replace that union representatives that represent them. Since the members have asked for details from the union as to how the dues are spent, and the union's hiding of how a large amount of the dues are actually spent, Grove has felt it necessary to introduce this legislation. Here's a video from Grove's office.
We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
SEIU will not silence me. This is not the United States of SEIU. This is the United States of America.
I work for the state and I came to America for my freedom and I want my freedom. And SEIU is not going to set me off.
Let's free Sacramento from the chains of these unions.
They're intimidated. The intimidation factor is unbelievable.
They don't treat the employees respectfully and being concerned about working conditions.
You're made to be the devil.
The SEIU has the ability to sue everybody and destroy everybody, but you can't be afraid of that. You just cannot be afraid of that. And once management stops being afraid, then maybe the employees will stop being afraid, and maybe we can eradicate this tick that's been embedded into our hearts.
In America, the beacon of freedom, why is the labor union the only organization I can think of that doesn't vote? You have no choice. You have no choice. Yeah. It's un-American.
Unions have become brokers. Forced unionism, involuntary servitude, basically, that's what it is.
The union, which started out as an entity to help the employees, has turned on them and now is threatening employees that if they want to make change, they're going to make their life a living hell.
We are pro-union, we're not anti-union.
Most of the people are not against the union, but against the monopoly of the officers and how they misuse our dues and mistreat us.
There needs to be transparency and accountability, though, to the members that are paying the money.
I decided I'm not going to let them this happen. I'm not going, not in America, not going to muzzle me up. And since that they started our fight, and I went straight to the lawyer to sue them to see the books that they want to show us. What are they hiding?
I would conclude there must be something they don't want her to see.
What a real union is supposed to do is represent you as an attorney would. You could look at any time in history, and when push comes to shove, if there's a group of individuals who want to make change for the better, and there's fighting the dog, anything can happen.
Free, we weren't hostage to them anymore. I think it felt like we were going to be heard.
They're fighting for their own social justice. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's not about union or non-union or non-signatory and signatory. It's about justice and transparency.
What I didn't realize is there's an actual option to opt out.
That's why it's vitally important that you be able to choose your own union,
Yes.
so that you can choose not to contribute politically if you choose not to,
Exactly.
and you can still have a vote to elect the leadership that's going to represent
Right.
you.
Everybody at this table has been demeaned by SEIU.
And you guys need and deserve respect. It's a civil rights movement.
At one point, we felt alone in Fresno County. We thought we were the only ones, but we met, and God bless all of you here because you guys are all brave folks.
This is why I fight for people that don't have a voice.
It's extraordinary. You're David's going up against a Goliath, and that in itself is extraordinary. But there was victory then, and there'll be victory now.
It has become a behemoth, a $60 million corporation, and who knows where all that money's going.
Enough is enough. Go to uniontransparency.com, sign the petition, support union transparency and choice.
My name is Deborah Johnson, and I'm a former state worker, and I'm already silent, so they cannot silence.
We thank Grove for her legislation, but given the pro-union liberals in Sacramento, I would bet they don't even get this heard. Now, in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, are you ready for this huge news? Since my last report on Wednesday, gas prices everywhere are still dropping, and local prices dropped to below $2 for the first time in a long time. And Ridgecrest still has the lowest prices in all the areas we're monitoring. We're a whopping 33 cents per gallon cheaper than Lancaster. That equates to a $6.60 savings in filling up a 20-gallon gas tank if you fill it here in Ridgecrest versus Lancaster. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $1.99 to $2.59, Lancaster from $2.32 to $2.59, the LA Valley area $2.09 to $2.25, and the Bishop area $2.63 to $2.83. We have one station at $1.99 and 4 stations at $2.01 per gallon. Of course, while this is good news for our wallets, the loss to revenue for the county will be severe. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Now stay with us for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weather.
Thank you, Tom. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center expects severe weather to continue on Wednesday. For the early morning hours, the greatest risk will be in the southeast. By Wednesday afternoon, the threat shifts to the eastern United States, particularly the Carolinas, where strong tornadoes are possible. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 70, Georgia at 51, Arkansas at 46, northern Texas at 56, Arizona at 70, and Los Angeles at 76. And for us locally, tonight, clear with low around 39, east-southeast wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 74, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear with a low around 42, east-southeast wind 5 miles per hour. Friday, sunny with a high near 78 with a calm wind. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 43, south wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny with a high near 77, west wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 43, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 75, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Lane. And now here's sports.
And a very pleasant Wednesday, early evening to everyone. Let's start with Sacramento baseball. Another good day for the Coyotes. They defeat Antelope Valley College on Tuesday by a score of 11-2. The Coyotes pretty much had control the whole way. They picked up 5 runs in the bottom of the third inning. They looked very good doing that defensively. A couple errors here and there, but they hit the ball really well. Biggie Hernandez had a double, drove in 3 runs. Also a very good pitching performance from the freshman from Bakersfield, Jason Stubbs, and he did very well through 6 innings, got some good relief help, and right now the team has a very good record of 7-3. Now tomorrow, Thursday, the team goes to Antelope Valley. They'll play at 2 o'clock. That game will be on radio, 12:40 a.m. starting at 2 o'clock. All right, let's talk about the NBA last night. Washington beats the Pelicans. The Magic have another win over the 76ers. And Utah beats Houston. Boy, Houston has not done very well since they got rid of Kevin McHale the second week of the season. NCAA last night, Kansas and Baylor had a good shootout down in Waco. Kansas came back in the last few minutes. Baylor went cold to win 74-70. Kentucky beats Alabama 78-53 in Lexington. Vanderbilt takes care of Florida, including a half-court shot that went in right before the first half ended. Arkansas beats LSU, and Georgia Tech beats Clemson. And Michigan State has a very good night, especially in the second half. They beat Ohio State in Columbus. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the NHL. It's starting to kind of get towards the end of the season. The Devils defeat the Rangers last night. The Hurricanes beat the Flyers. The Wild beats the Islanders. And the Senators come up with a win over the Oilers. Tonight the Kings will be in action along with the Ducks. Some notes from professional football. Robert Griffith, better known as RJ3, had a couple of great years, not so lately. He basically will not be brought back to play for the Skins next year. They're going to go ahead and try to trade him if they can, and if they can't, they'll just put him on waivers. Mark Gasol, the brother of Paul Gasol, former Laker, right now a current Chicago Bull. His brother Mark, a star player for the Memphis Grizzlies, is out for the rest of the season. He had foot surgery. The team is currently in 5th place. They are going to have to really play well to get into the playoffs. Now, the Orioles and Dexter Fowler have agreed to a 3-year extension on the contract. Dexter Fowler, a very talented outfielder, switch hitter. I think that's a good move for the Orioles. All right, that's your sports for this Wednesday. We're going to have more Burrows stuff coming up next week. Burrows in action with baseball. Softball will start next week also. So spring sports just around the corner. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. Also, at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next.